I believe that the prey, or the deer, is disguised as the hunter.
I think it means it doesn't matter what you look like on the outside, it just matters what you look like on the inside, because that's what really matters.
I think this piece of art relates to identity and disguise because it's similar to people that hide their true identity to protect themselves. It's symbolic of the mask that people will wear when they go out in public to hide their true thoughts and feelings. Those socially acceptable personas, or their masks, keep us safe from being hurt. It's kind of like the deer that's hiding behind the mask so the hunter doesn't get him.
I think it means that some fake companies try to produce fake things like fake leather, but they say it's real.
I feel that the picture of the animal wearing the mask is depicting the face of humans disguise the beast that's inside.
I think this piece means trying to hide your identity from others, because this deer is trying to hide its face, probably from predators that's around him or her.
I think this piece of art is just trying to represent that since the deer is so bored, since all they do is go around and eat grass, they're trying to put on a mask that tries to show that they're brave, because the mask looks pretty scary.
So what I see in this picture is that how the deer is either like disguising himself so hunters won't notice him, or that it's like an easier target for hunters to use. So like, let's say a deer sees that deer, they'll think it's their friend or something.
It relates to identity and disguise because some people use masks to disguise themselves, and a part of disguising yourself means covering your physical attributes with masks or jackets.
I would relate it to history, and going with the same idea that the mask is disguising the beast that's inside. So before Jesus came, and he was a sacrifice for us, that's what we were, was just beasts inside. And now that we have Jesus, we're able to be spiritually clean and whole.
I think historically, this may be an African mask, and it's of a person that may hunt the animal that is wearing the mask.
It connects to math because math involves geometry, and there are shapes in geometry, and there are shapes in the math too, like a rectangle, oval, and triangles. It involves history because in sports like football in the late 1800s, they involved helmets and masks. The first helmet used to just be a thin layer of leather, and then progressing to the 1990s and the 2000s, it involved face masks, and also umpires in baseball use it.
I think it relates to math because you see geometry in the mask. For example, the eyes are the same shape, they're oval, and they're the same distance from each side of the mask. And then the teeth are rectangles, and then the mouth is like a diamond. I think it relates to history because it's similar to the masks that were worn by indigenous people in Africa. Those masks were worn for religious dances and social events, and the people who created them were also elevated within that society.
And the way it can connect to history is because they would use masks for war to intimidate people.
You as a student or as a scholar, and any student studying art is becoming a scholar of art, have to ask themselves, what do they believe is the most compelling set of questions to ask about works of art, and also the most important way that they see society being organized. So it isn't just about examining the work of art, it's also about examining the examiner, the person who's doing the research themselves. They have to look inward and think about what they believe is the most important. Well, a scholar has to be, if you will, a kind of scientist who looks at the material and weighs it and makes a kind of judgment. But they're also always somebody who has a set of preconceptions, a set of understandings, a lens through which they see the world. And as long as they're self-aware about what that lens is, then I think they're able to make the necessary correctives to have a good and useful and widely understandable interpretation of the work of art. At the same time, even people who have particular biases can bring out elements of the work of art that were previously invisible.